Hi, I'm Mark Levinson. The Daniel Hertz Anton speaker with the Maria 350 amplifier is the first music system that is optimized for all 5 parameters that you need to feel that you are in the room with the musicians. What are those 5 parameters? First of all, if you want to have real bass, you need a big cabinet. It's the laws of physics. A real substantial cabinet per driver. Here we have a single 15-inch driver in a large box. Why? Because that's what it takes. This current audiophile trend to have thin speakers with 6, 8, 10, or 12-inch woofers won't cut it. So Anton is based, first of all, on a size of cabinet that's sufficient to get really superb bass, because bass is the foundation of the music. Even soft instruments, like classical guitar or harpsichord, have deep bass. And if you don't reproduce it, you're not going to be in the room with the musicians. The second, to get detail and resolution, you need high efficiency. Why? Because the lower the efficiency of the speaker, the more energy is turned into heat and you don't hear it. But to get high efficiency and deep bass is a serious challenge. Laws of physics say the only way to do that is with a very large woofer in a large box biamplified. And of course, that's not common in residential audio, only in pro audio. Anton combines high efficiency with deep bass for the first time. Deep bass means minus 2 dB at 27 hertz. Real bass into the 20s. Some companies say they have deep bass, but if you look at the measurements, okay, there's something at 20 hertz, but it's about 30 or 40 dB down. It's not flat. Real deep bass means within a few dB. And Anton is essentially flat into the 20s. That's remarkable, especially with efficiency of 99.5 dB. Okay. The third one, point source imaging. If you want to feel that you're in the room with the musicians, you want to see them there. You want to actually see a picture of the musicians playing. If you want that, the best way to get that is with a coaxial driver. That is to say, a woofer with a tweeter in the middle, like this. This is a coaxial driver, 15-inch woofer with a tweeter in the middle. Okay, so when you have a coaxial driver with 99.5 dB efficiency and bass response within 2 dB at 27 hertz, that's interesting. The third thing that you need is dynamic range. Why? Because live music has dynamic range, and you don't want to feel stress. You don't want compression. You want the music to be light and free so that the inflections, the dynamics that the musicians create are audible. You can feel them. But for that to happen, you really need more dynamic range than most speakers have. You can do the math. Look at the efficiency and so forth. You can do the math. Anton will reproduce over 120 dB sound pressure level across the entire audio band from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz with the Maria 350 amplifier. The next thing you want is smooth frequency response. That gives you the transparency, the sense that the instruments are real, the voices are real, that they're not influenced by the audio system. And Anton has response that is incredibly linear from the 20 hertz range all the way out to 20 kilohertz. How does it do that? Well, tweeters, mid-ranges, and woofers are not perfect. None of them are. With the Maria 350, we have tuning capability embedded in the amplifier so that we can tune the speaker. Let's call it mastering. That we can master the speaker like music mastering, except it's optimizing the performance of the speaker. The tuning for the Anton speaker was done by world-famous mastering engineer Ted Jensen. As you may know, the last step in the recording process is the mastering, right? The fine tuning that makes the voice exactly right, every instrument as natural as possible. Ted is one of the great mastering engineers on the planet. and happens to be an old friend of mine. And I asked Ted if he would help and do the tuning for the Anton. Well, the result is astonishing. It's just something beyond what you could wish for. Imagine that you have Ted Jensen personally tuning your music system. Essentially, it's mastering. Instead of mastering a recording, it's mastering the music system. And it's something you have to hear to believe. It's just so right. Just like Ted gets Norah Jones' voice right, or the Eagles' California just right. He got the Anton system just right. So you can listen to recordings from almost any genre, any era, and they all sound great. It's really an accomplishment. And I have to say thanks to Ted for helping me realize the dream of the Anton system by putting so much time and energy into making a tuning that can only be described as a masterpiece. In 2009, I designed the Daniel Hertz M1 music system to be the best I could do without compromise, regardless of cost, regardless of size. The M1 is still being built today, and it still fulfills that promise. But it's out of reach of most people. Now, the Daniel Hertz Anton speaker with the Maria 350 amplifier brings you into the world of the M1 with high efficiency of 99.5 dB, deep bass -2 at 27 Hertz, dynamic range of 120 dB or more, smooth frequency response to 20 kilohertz, and point source imaging for a price that's much more within reach. If you were turned on by the M1 system, by what you've read and what you've heard, and you wish you could own one, but it's out of reach, take a look at the Daniel Hertz Anton speaker and Maria 350 amplifier. I'm extremely proud of this accomplishment. It's the first time in audio history to have all of these parameters optimized in a product that's within reach.